There's really not that many walls.
There's so many walls.
I gotta be honest with you, there's really only 4.
I mean, okay.
Well, the film is R-rated and it's not intended for children.
Ah, but of course children are gonna see it.
Can I finish?
It was so brutal.
Yeah.
And yet it was like a car crash.
Can I finish? Hello? Can I finish?
So I go up for the wave, and then I hear like, Candace! And I'm like, fuck.
Can I finish? Please, can I finish? Okay, I finished.
TGIF, everybody. Welcome to the Can I Finish podcast. I'm your host, Billy Mack.
And I'm JR Super.
And let's start the show. That's right, mother truckers. You heard me right. Getting promotions nowadays. I'm the new host. Real reason behind it, though, is that at this point of the recording, we have a third show coming out.
Yep.
And that's going to be on Wednesdays.
Yeah, most likely.
And what is that show?
That show's going to be called Mike's Mini History Lessons. It's an educational podcast. 5 to 10 minute, just mini history lessons that you probably don't either remember from school or you don't actually get taught in school.
Which is fair.
Both are a possibility.
Which is a lot, too. And since JR does all the editing for that, and he's also the host of the
Mystery in Our History podcast,
which I totally blanked on.
That's
even
okay.
though that's
because you're not invited.
This whole episode is like based off it. It just took a little bit less off his plate. So
Yeah.
nothing really changes.
So if the show goes downhill from episode 8 on, you know
Right.
who to blame.
7 on.
And if
yeah,
it well, this is episode 8.
Yeah, but this is it. But it's still episode 7. This is episode 8, but episode 7 was so good.
Technically, this is episode 6.
Yeah, actually, fair enough.
Yeah, this is episode 6.
So, anyways.
We record these in advance, so now we're
Imagine
all just
that.
fucked up.
So we also are super excited to say that Mystery in Our History has over 1,000 listens to on iTunes. So
Yes, sir, and that doesn't include the YouTube channel.
Right.
That's just on iTunes and SoundCloud. We have over 1,000 listens. We'd love to get more subscribers to our YouTube channel, however. So, click that like and subscribe.
right. So I wanted to do one of my favorite theories. So
Okay.
now play the Mystery in Our History hard cut till now play the intro. And that theory is the Pixar theory.
I'll do the X-Files theme. I'll just throw that.
Yeah, or just the ending, the last like couple seconds. You guys are like talking over it. Just do that part of it.
I have a 17-second clip. I'll just
at the very beginning of the episode too. Do you even know about the Pixar theory?
I've actually never heard of it.
Never
and when
once.
you brought it up to me, it took everything in my power not to go look it up.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to come into this cold.
Yeah, absolutely. How many Pixar movies do you think you've seen?
I want to say I've seen the majority.
Okay, so
of
let me tell
Pixar
you what
movies,
the movies
with the exception
are.
of like the new Toy Story movie and stuff. But I've seen.
I don't actually. Toy Story 4 hasn't been updated into the Pixar theory.
Okay.
So before
Pretty up to date.
Before I even go into it, I want to just say, obviously, I did not come up with this.
Fair.
There's a guy named John DeGroni who actually created it and has a book on it. And I actually watched the Super Carlin brothers, who have a YouTube episode all based on it, which is their sum up to like. I wouldn't say like I'm an expert in it, but I definitely know.
But you did your research?
I did a lot of research.
Okay.
I would say like of the theory, I think I have it like an 8 out of 10. You know, so I feel like I'm in a good spot where you're such a fucking. I said trucking. Anyways, so yeah, so to help me understand it, so I have a pretty good grasp on.
Okay.
it. So the movies that are in it are The Good Dinosaur. Have you seen it?
That one I haven't seen.
Okay. Brave.
Seen it.
The Incredibles.
Seen them both.
Toy Story 1 and 2.
Seen those.
Finding Nemo.
Yep.
Ratatouille.
Yep.
Toy Story 3.
Yep.
I believe this one is Up.
I've seen it.
Cars.
By the way, Up is the saddest 15 minutes of an intro to a movie ever.
Ever.
Like ever. Like I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like Coco was pretty sad at the end.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I got pretty emotional at Coco.
Yeah.
Because I think I cry during every Pixar movie, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But Up, literally in the first 15 minutes, I was sobbing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like at the end of Marley and Me, sobbing.
Oh, for sure.
But anyway, what was after Up?
Cars.
Cars I've seen.
Cars 2.
Cars 2 I think I've seen.
Wall-E.
Wall-E I've seen.
Bugs Life.
Bugs Life I've seen.
Coco.
Yep.
Monsters University.
Yes.
Monsters Inc.
Yep.
And that's all the movies that are included to
Okay,
this
so
point.
I've seen at least like 95% of those movies.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about Cars 2.
That definitely helps. I don't think you really need to see every single movie as long as you somewhat understand what they're all about.
You mean getting Larry the Cable Guy work?
Yeah, essentially for the Cars ones. Oh yeah, and then he had his own private movie, didn't he?
Yeah,
Didn't
Tom
Mater
Mater.
just have-
Tom Mater's aeronautical
Dude,
adventure or some stupid thing. I
nuts.
know.
What a
I
cash
saw it.
grab.
I saw it on
I wonder how
Disney
much money he
Plus,
makes
and
from
I
that.
could not believe that he got his own spin-off.
Dude,
And then I could
insane.
believe that he got his own spin-off.
Yeah, I guess really like all those Pixar movies have like things like that for sure.
I mean, they're also not being made for us.
right? Or are they? Because the Pixar theory theorizes that in the background of the Pixar universe, that everything is actually connected. It's all one world. They're not separate worlds. Every Pixar movie is actually a timeline, and in that hidden timeline, they tell an apocalyptic story about the war between humans, machines, and animals. Welcome to the Pixar theory.
Are you kidding me?
Absolutely not. Put your tinfoil hat on.
Okay, hang on a second. For those of you who watch the show and have never seen the Mystery on Our History podcast, I would just like to point out on the Mystery on Our History podcast, I am the skeptic when it comes to conspiracy theories, and my co-host Chris Berry is the skeptic when it comes to the paranormal, which I think makes it a better dynamic because we essentially never agree on anything when it comes to this stuff, but this is a conspiracy theory. And I'm going to go on the record right now as saying, really, dude?
Okay. Let's dive in.
Okay.
So before we even dive into
this is
it,
an apocalyptic.
let's
There's
get
an
there.
apocalyptic aspect to this, though.
Let's get there.
Oh my God.
Let's first prove that it actually does all take part in the same universe.
In one timeline.
Are you aware that the A113 shows up in every single Pixar movie?
What is the A113?
It represents the classroom from Southern California, I believe, where all the main Pixar people all went to the same class together.
Oh, so A113 is not like a person or a robot or something.
No, it's
like,
literally
you know what I mean? Like
A1
Wall-E was a
right.
robot, but it was
It's literally A113.
So that sequence of letters and numbers appears in every Pixar movie, much like Superman appears in every Seinfeld episode.
More like how there's a Easter egg in every Marvel movie.
Fair enough. Okay. Same thing with like some Disney movies do that too.
Right. So A113 is the classroom like we
It's a
discussed.
little Easter egg.
In Toy Story 1, 2, and 3, it's the license plates of Andy's mom's car.
Okay.
In Monsters, Inc., it's actually one of the sections for the doors when they're showing you all the
all the
actual
doors to
door
all the
room.
rooms and
So
stuff.
one of
It's
the
one of those
sections
doors.
is A113.
Oh, okay. Yep.
The camera on Finding Nemo, when he actually takes the photo of Marlin, it actually has A113 on it.
The camera that takes the photo of what?
Remember when Nemo's actually out into the ocean and Marlin goes after him, and the guy comes up with the camera and takes a photo of Marlin, which like throws him off?
Oh,
That
the
camera
father. Yes. Okay.
has the
Sorry,
A113.
I wasn't. I
That's
couldn't
why I'm
remember
here.
the father's
I did a lot
name.
of research.
Got it.
I did a lot of
That
research.
camera had A113 on it.
Yes.
Okay.
In Cars, when they take the train,
Which I think is silly, but
which is
yeah.
hilarious. The train number is A113.
Okay.
In Ratatouille, the big muscle rat that is friends with Ratatouille, on his ear has a tag. That tag says
A113.
the
Okay.
direction to return to Earth in Wall-E is
Directive A113.
the waiting room that Carl's wife Ellie is in is waiting room
A113. Who is Carl and his wife?
up.
Oh,
The
okay.
saddest 15
Sorry.
minutes of your life.
I block it out.
Even though you just talked about it. In
Okay,
Cars
so
2,
Carl from Up. Got it.
in Cars 2, the plane that Mater flies in is plane A113.
A113.
A113 is carved into the wood above the door in Brave. In Monsters University,
Really?
the classroom.
Do you have a picture of that one?
I will have it for you later. I just don't have it right
for
now.
me to throw up on the screen?
Yeah, but I will have all that stuff for you.
All right. That's interesting.
Monsters U, the classroom that they're in is A113.
Fair. That was. I mean, that's an easy one.
Inside Out, the
I saw that
wall
one.
is graffitied A113. A113 is in the wood carvings in the Good Dinosaur. There's a part where they're like at a farm and like in the wood it says A113.
Okay.
The businesses in Cars 3, the CEO car, which is hilarious. His office is A113.
Okay.
And in Coco, the poster that has to be put back on is A113.
The poster that needs to be put back.
Yeah,
Or
there's
the
a
picture.
They're not the picture. There's another poster that's like in the. So it's on the street at one point. So there's like one
when
point
he's
where
dead
like,
or when he's not dead.
I think he's when he's alive, and he's like walking down the street, and the camera kind of pans out, and he's like in a hallway almost. Well, not
or an
like
alley.
Alley, thank you, not a hallway. And then
An outdoor hallway.
An outdoor hallway, because that makes sense.
Otherwise known as an alley.
Yeah. So like the A113 is actually like on the wall.
Okay.
So
I-
it's in every single one.
I mean, okay. So before you continue,
I hope you're gonna say what I have, because I think I called what you're gonna say again.
I love it. So that is significant to all the people at Pixar, because the people that started Pixar were all in a classroom together when they went to college, and it has significance for them.
Correct. Don't touch it. Correct. Because now it's not even in the right spot. So now you're just messing it with. So it's just
helping.
Fun. Yeah.
Okay, so they all went to that class.
Right, and I believe it's Southern California. I know it's a California school.
So it was a classroom they all shared.
Yeah.
But that doesn't.
I knew you
Like
were
that
gonna
doesn't
say that.
that doesn't
It doesn't
connect
prove
a universe,
anything.
right?
Correct.
It's literally just something that's like.
Now I'm glad that
that's
you
like
said
the
that.
Disney conspiracy where, like the priest at the end of Little Mermaid has a boner, and
Oh, he
Aladdin
100% has a boner.
Not anymore. They cut it out on Disney
They cut
Plus.
it out, but he originally had a boner.
But my point is, like, the conspiracy theory was that one of the animators or a team of animators was inserting something inappropriate into every Disney movie.
Right. It's just
The
like
Lion
little-
King,
yeah,
Aladdin.
Spell sex in the air. You see the fucking boobs in Aladdin.
The Little Mermaid had like a dildo or something
Yeah.
in it, or
Yeah.
or the castle was just completely phallic.
Right.
Like,
Right. On the case of one of them, the
yeah.
it was a dick right on the case of the, of the
Or,
thing.
yeah, like her box of stuff, or like the palace was just
yeah,
a
yeah,
penis.
yeah.
Aladdin, it was he when he mumbles under his breath when the tiger roars at him.
Yeah.
When he like is outside the princess's balcony.
Yeah.
He says something under his breath, and it's been contested that it's either "I want to have sex" or like "good little girls take off their clothes" or something like that.
And then there's the part where they actually take the lamp and everything's exploding, and there's the part where Abu is like on the rocks and like all the rocks are blowing up like until he's on the last one, and you hear him go, "Oh shit!" You literally hear him say it. It's hilarious.
So that was like a theory.
Yeah.
But like those things did not connect this universe. So like A113 for me doesn't connect a whole universe. It's just something that these guys are fond of, and they find a way to work into every episode.
So this is something I literally knew you were going to say, because it's a valid point. So now let me get more into it.
Okay.
Buzz Lightyear,
Go on.
as we understand, is a
Right.
mass-produced toy.
Correct. Tim Allen.
It's the whole point of Toy Story 1, where he sees all the different toys.
Right.
In Finding Nemo, when in the dentist's office, the boy who is in the dentist's office
Is playing with a Buzz Lightyear.
is reading an Incredibles
is that what it is?
magazine
Yeah.
while there's a Buzz Lightyear on the floor.
Yes.
So
But that's an Easter egg, not necessarily connecting the universe.
how so? If it's in the same universe, it's a mass-produced toy. It can go anywhere within that universe. So if he's at a child's place, Buzz Lightyear's toy is there.
Okay, so
And he's reading the Incredibles magazine, which you know is canon, because in the Incredibles, they talk about the comic series that Mr. Incredible was in. In fact, Mr. Incredible even goes to say that it was the best literature ever made.
right. In Disney's Frozen.
Which is not part of the Pixar theory. That's
Correct.
Disney.
This
Just
is
making sure.
me kind of pointing out my argument.
Right.
Disney's Frozen has a scene in the
beginning when they come off the entrance.
When they're walking
where it
in,
like
they've opened up the gate. It is Rapunzel.
It is Rapunzel.
It's Rapunzel and Flynn, I think his name is.
Flynn Rider.
Yes, thank you.
Eugene, his real name.
They're walking in. That's an Easter egg that Disney threw in there. It doesn't mean that it's all one universe.
Of course it does. How could they be there if it's not them? Plus, this is a mass-produced toy that's going everywhere. So, in Cars, Lightning McQueen gets upgraded wheels, which is a black wheel with a white outside to it. The exact same wheels are on Ellie's car in Up. When they have to break the piggy bank for the first time and buy for the wheel, it's literally the exact same look, design, everything. I have, in Ratatouille, Linguini has Mr. Incredible boxers on.
Which I don't understand, because Ratatouille is supposed to take place...
way after.
No, way before.
Incorrect.
Ratatouille is like...
Not in a timeline. The Incredibles is like in the 50s. Like, Ratatouille is like, yeah. Yes. They even say it in the movie. Don't do that. Okay. Do your research. Linguini has Mr. Incredible boxers on. The Chinese food container can be seen in the fridge of Ratatouille. Can be also seen in the Bug's Life when they're it's when they meet the carnival people for the first time. Inside Out when they go into the fridge, and Toy Story itself that has it in the fridge as well.
But that would mean that all these places, all these movies are taking place in the
box.
same town.
Not necessarily. It could be a chain.
No, there are no chain Chinese food restaurants.
Oh, because this world and that world are exactly the same.
Huh?
Yes, there are.
No, there aren't. P.F. Chang's doesn't count.
Panda Express.
That's only in malls.
It's a chain.
It's only in malls. You don't get takeout from Panda Express.
What you do and what other people do are two different things. And
People
you can't
who get
just say
takeout from mall food are weird.
Okay, you can say that, but that doesn't take anything away from it being a chain. It's impossible to argue. You might not go there. You might not like it. That's completely different.
I don't buy it.
Okay, you're just trying to.
No. That one I don't buy.
There is a scooter in Ratatouille that is literally in the trash pile when Wally cleans it out. The Pizza Planet
scooter
truck,
in Ratatouille,
the one that he
is
rides
in Wally
as
when he's
trash
cleaning out trash on Earth.
on Earth
After we've all moved away.
after we've all moved away.
Okay.
The Pizza Planet truck, which is first seen in Toy Story,
Because that one makes sense. Because Wally is way in the future.
right?
So that one I'll give you is that could be.
Yeah, because the other ones couldn't be.
No,
yeah, you're right.
the other ones are TP.
Yeah, okay.
Big piles of trash. Just like Wally. Not the movie. Wally was an awesome movie. I just meant there's big piles of trash in Wally. Nobody commented I'm a jerk for hating Wally.
The Pizza Planet truck is in Toy Story, Bug's Life, and in Cars. And
that I'll give you because that could be a chain. There are no
and-
chain Chinese food restaurants. I don't care how many names you throw.
Okay. And Brave.
Brave. Okay.
Now
Pizza-
that might be
hold on a
coming
second.
right.
Hold on a
Why
second.
is the
Okay,
Pizza
so
Planet
I
truck
want
in
to
Brave?
I want to do a timeout for two things now.
Go ahead.
Pizza Express. That's the truck.
What is it? No, it's it's Pizza Planet.
Pizza Planet. Okay, because Pizza
The
Express.
Planet Pizza is the one in real life.
Planet Pizza is the one in real life. Pizza Express
Sponsored.
is where Prince Andrew was going to not be molesting girls.
What?
Yeah, I think it was called Pizza Express.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Prince Andrew, member of the royal family,
Yeah.
best buddies with Jeffrey Epstein, molested young
Oh
girls.
yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Now.
Yeah. Hashtag Epstein didn't kill himself.
Yeah. Hashtag
And okay, so what's the name of this pizza place?
Pizza Planet.
Pizza Planet. Okay.
Yeah.
So Pizza Planet truck is in.
Toy Story.
Okay.
Bug's Life.
Okay.
I didn't write all of them down. Cars
Mm-hmm.
and Brave.
Okay, explain Brave to me now.
That's
the timeout. That's the timeout.
We will get back to that. It's part of everything. I purposely did that because we have to come back to
That
it.
doesn't make any sense because Brave is like ancient Scotland.
So that's good.
And
your,
why is
your
A1?
mind
Hold on,
is
though.
right where it needs to be.
Why is A113 in Brave? It's ancient fucking Scotland.
Your mind is exactly where I need it to be. It's exactly where I need it to be.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Buzz Lightyear is a lunchbox in Up, and in Up, you can actually, when he first flies the house, when you go into the little girl's room, there is a Luxo bear, which is a mass-produced toy from Toy Story.
Right.
That's Toy Story 3. That's the bear.
The
bad
turns
guy.
out to be evil at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah,
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
For the 4-year-olds that watch this podcast.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. So let me just make sure I'm following you here. So in the timeline of Pixar, you have Brave being the earliest.
No, Good Dinosaur is first.
That's fair. Okay, I forgot about that. I haven't seen that movie,
No.
so it goes
I'm
Good
just telling
Dinosaur.
You asked the
All
question.
right, well, there's no need to yell at me. Okay. So you have Good Dinosaur.
Right.
Okay. Then Brave.
Correct.
Because I don't think there's anything in between those.
No, you're right.
Okay. So then Brave.
Do you want me to just tell you, or you want to keep guessing?
No, I want to work this out for myself here.
Good.
I don't know where Coco falls into that. Probably later.
Way later.
Okay, good. So then it would be The Incredibles.
Correct, because it's the 50s.
Because you're saying it's the 50s,
It's the
which
50s.
Prove it.
Look at the car that he drives. It's a 50s style car.
Look at the car that everyone drives in
They have the old
Cuba.
school TV. They have they have TV dinners.
Anywho. So then you have The Incredibles. All right. So then somewhere now is like a large grouping of Toy Story, Nemo, Cars. No, Cars has to be in the future. So you have Toy Story and Nemo and maybe something else.
You want me to tell you now? Or?
Then you have,
Okay.
hold on, and maybe Ratatouille is in there. Then you have Up. Then you have Cars. Then you have Wall-E. How'd I do?
I mean, you basically have it.
Okay.
So it goes Good Dinosaur, Brave, The Incredibles, Toy Story 1, Toy Story 2, Finding Nemo, Ratatouille, Toy Story 3, what is this? Up, Cars 2, Wall-E, Bugs Life, Monsters U, Monsters Inc., and Coco is actually in between Up and Cars, I believe, and it's also
Because you could
Inside
really
Out.
you could just throw that freaking movie anywhere.
Yes and
Coco.
no, because it kind of explains a little bit now. So now let's just get into it.
Okay.
Now let's actually get into the theory.
This is all really hurting my head.
because all I was doing was proving that they're
all
actually in
connected.
the same universe.
Okay.
Because it is there. You have to admit. You don't have to admit that I'm right.
A
but you
lot
have
of
to
the
admit
things
that
within
it does make sense.
So there's a lot. I will admit that there's a lot of things from other Pixar movies that show up in the other Pixar movies.
Which
100%.
wouldn't you believe would be evidence of? It's a possibility.
Okay,
it's
so
not
here's-
an impossibility.
Here's
How
my
about that?
question.
You can give me that.
It's probable. It's
That's
probable. It's
That's fair.
not a fact, but has Pixar come out and made any kind of comments on Pixar Theory?
They make cheeky remarks about it. They never
All
come
right,
out
go
and
ahead.
flat out say
Go
it.
ahead.
So
Next.
this
let's
all
jump in.
starts with the Good Dinosaur.
Okay.
Now, what the Good Dinosaur does at the very opening of the movie is it shows you planet Earth and with all the dinosaurs on it, and then the meteor that's supposed to kill the dinosaurs just misses and goes by.
Okay, so that's alternate universe reality.
Yes.
Establishing this particular story takes place when the dinosaurs didn't die
Right.
from a meteor.
From a meteor. So millions
Because
and millions
in
of
Ice
years,
Age,
which is not Pixar.
it's not Pixar. What
No.
is Ice Age?
DreamWorks. Yeah. So it misses, and now dinosaurs go millions of years being able to live a life without being extinct. So now they've evolved.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
So now they have evolved societies, a very small, primitive lifestyle. They have agriculture.
The dinosaurs have.
Yep. Because they've gone millions of years to have the chance
Unchecked.
to evolve.
Okay.
Right. So now, they have like little societies. They have agriculture. They like have,
And this is all in
higher
that movie.
intellect. Yep. This
Okay.
is how it starts.
Okay.
And then a storm comes, wiping out all the dinosaurs except for one, and the Good Dinosaur. And you're first introduced to humans. It's the first time you ever see a human.
Got it.
Humans at the time are very primitive. They're kind of lunky, but they're good at tools and they're good at kind of putting themselves together. So now we have our two first major entities:
Got it.
animals in humans. And we've learned from this that animals are able to evolve to very high intellectual positions. And we'll see more evidence of that later, but this is where we first see it.
Okay.
So now people evolve and we start going through time. Now that brings us to Brave. So, go ahead.
I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to stop you at a different part that I have a huge problem with. Unless you answer my question ahead of time. But keep going. Yeah, keep going. It's 100% possible. But yeah, keep going. Okay, so now we're in Brave, ancient Scotland.
So, also
1500, 1600, somewhere around there?
14th and 15th century.
So 1500, 1600. Okay.
Right. So if you actually go to pixartheory.com, this is where I'm actually looking at it. And this is, it actually shows you pieces of evidence on everything on the side. But you'll notice that it hasn't been completely updated. So you actually have to go to that YouTube show that or episode that I mentioned to see like the updated version.
You know what's funny?
Good.
Is I can't even use the excuse that some people have way too much free time on their hands, because this is exactly what I do for another podcast. Like, I can't even be frustrated.
Like, if you're interested, you know?
No, I know, but like, I can't even be frustrated that somebody took the time to go through every single Pixar movie and like document all this stuff, because I'm literally doing this
for
research
so long. But I just wanted to be able to come from like an educated point of view that I could be able to debunk things that you might say and have a conversation about it.
Continue.
So,
Brave.
in Brave, this is where you start with Merida discovering the will of the wisps, which is magic.
Right. Hold on before you continue.
Yep.
A113 in The Good Dinosaur was...
There's like twigs that are like lined up against a fence, and it says A113.
Okay, and now in Brave, A113 is carved above a tree.
No, it's carved in the doorway. So there's a part where the little witch is kicking Merida out when she's asking for magic.
Oh,
and while she's kicking her out, like if you look right above it, it says
there.
A113.
Got it. Okay, now I know where it is.
Yeah.
That witch is hilarious.
You can't really see it. It's hard to see, but it's right in this corner right here.
When she walks out.
Yeah.
Got it.
But yeah, it's just kind of hard to see.
That's fine. I'll throw up that picture and make everybody else not be able to see it either.
The magic turns her mother into a bear.
Yep.
And this is where we see animals. This is why animals imitate objects like brooms and tools, and they can behave like humans. This is why magic can do all of that.
Okay, so this is where magic gets introduced into the canon of Pixar. Sorry, I just couldn't. I couldn't think of the word. I was still trying to finish that sentence.
Yeah. And then, so now magic's utilized by the witch.
Yep.
Who mysteriously vanishes when the wooden door closes.
Right.
Very important. Bury it for now.
Okay.
We'll pick that up
But yeah,
later.
she just disappears when she comes
closes
back in.
the door.
And then she throws stuff in the cauldron, and it's like an answering machine.
Right.
Which I thought was a hilarious part. But
so now we've seen magic interact with objects.
Yep.
And then it also interacts with people.
Yep.
So now we skip a lot of time.
Right.
We go to the 1950s.
Right.
Because now the magic has ended up leading to people having superpowers.
Okay, so that's how they're justifying superpowers.
That's a theory of how it could have happened. They're not necessarily saying that, but they're saying that that could lead into it for sure.
Okay.
Now, let's not forget the witch. We're going to leave her for now.
Yeah.
We're going to come back.
She's the same size as the chick in Incredibles with the big glasses, though.
So, the Incredibles now.
Mm-hmm.
The superheroes maintained order in the world. But Buddy, a wannabe superhero, created two things for the demise of superpowered humans: self-serving AI bots like the Omnidroid and the high-tech zero-point energy. This is a pivotal moment where we see machines interacting with humans and their only threat. So now we've had our third introduction. We have animals, we have people, and now we have AI.
This
we
is
have
the fourth, because you have magic too.
Well, magic seems to basically go with the human, essentially, making the superhuman. So it's not its really own entity in this plot line.
Okay.
It's more to understand it exists and it increased humans' potential.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually, the toys absorb their draw to their powers from the zero-point energy gun, which is the finger.
Right. So now what you're saying is that finger created the ability for the toys to come to life in Toy Story.
with AI. Because that robot, the Omni Droid,
Uh-huh.
is an AI robot, and remember, it figures out that the only thing that could stop it is his wrist.
Mm-hmm.
So then it goes after the wrist, and it stops it.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just more kind of proving that we're introducing the AI and the robot aspect.
Right, so it's
of
just
it.
establishing that.
Right.
Because my thing is, I feel like it'd be more magic than AI, because at no point during Toy Story do any of these toys have like an AI chip.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like even Buzz Lightyear, like there's no AI chip. They just have like the little things that normal toys have.
I think the point of that one is more that they want to show you that the robot is like able to understand what's good for it and what's not good for it.
Okay.
Because
Self-aware.
It's self-aware, right? I think they're trying to more prove the self-awareness of the robots at this point, because now it's gonna bleed into Toy Story.
All right, go ahead.
So let's go into Toy Story. Toy Story is the first signs of life from toys, who are now present due to Syndrome's technology prowess. That one kind of loses me a little bit. I'll be 100% fair with you.
Say that one more time.
Because of Syndrome's technology, wow, stuttered a lot there. Because of his powers,
Because of Syndrome, that's the bad guy from The Incredibles.
right, buddy,
The ginger guy.
correct.
Okay, just
Yeah.
making sure I'm following. So he had the little wrist thing.
Yeah, and then
right.
they're saying that's the first sign of life from the toys because of that. But that one I don't really get.
Okay.
That one kind of goes over me a little bit. That's why I said it was an 8 out of 10.
Sure.
But we do understand that the toys are 100% sentient beings. I mean, they have this whole completely different life. versus-
Unless this is all just taking place in a kid's imagination.
Right. And they come up with a code of rules that learn that learn that humans love is the energy source that they thrive on and need to survive.
Got it. So in order for them to be loved by kids, they can't actually be alive, because then the kids and once people know that they're alive, everything changes. Now they become beings as opposed to things that kids will love.
Yes and no. So essentially it's saying more like the toys are now sentient.
Right.
And they come up with this
But
rule.
nobody in the world knows that these toys are sentient.
Yeah, but that's because they made that rule. They decided
The toys decided that.
Right.
Right.
Right. Which is like some unpacked code between all toys that somehow all toys know. But
It's that bear.
you can see though, like when things go unloved, they deteriorate in health. Remember Squeaky Toy?
Yes.
Because he was up in the corner where Andy like completely forgot
Mhm.
where he was. He then was like dying essentially.
Right.
So
Squeaky toy.
toys need human emotion.
Right.
I think I might have jumped ahead. I think that's the whole point of Toy Story 2, but hold on.
That's okay.
In Toy Story 2, the toys discover that it's dangerous for them to be isolated from humans. Sorry. We started to see inanimate objects question their purpose of life. For example, Jessie resents her owner for Emily abandoning her.
Mm-hmm.
Resentment towards humans was not only carried by inanimate objects, but by animals as well. Now, why would animals not like this?
Resentment towards humans.
Right. So now we start to see resentment towards humans. Because in both Toy Story 2, but I don't want to jump to Toy Story 3.
Right, but Toy Story 2,
You see
Jessie got
Jessie-
abandoned.
Yeah. and she
Squeaky
hated
Toy's
humans.
dead.
Right. And then the prospector was just like, no, because it's just toys for
Okay,
life.
so now you're looking at animals resenting us as well.
And why would they? Finding Nemo.
Okay.
In the ocean, we find out that fish are incredibly advanced. They have their own schools,
Right.
a network system, a
Right.
freeway system. They have their own a realtor system. Remember where he goes into the sea anemone?
Mhm.
He's like, bunch of fish were after this spot. It's like, and we discover in the movie that humans are polluting the earth and experimenting on fish.
Okay.
Dory was one of those animals that was experimented on, and whilst
How do we know that?
because of Finding Dory,
Oh, okay.
she was in that she was in the the save spot. Well, actually, you know what? That's not right. Because in Finding Dory, you find out that's not true. That she was in the aquarium. That's what I'm looking for. Recovery system. And she had an accident or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember Finding Dory. I saw it, but I only saw it once.
But there is resentment of humans in Finding Nemo as well. Because Marlin travels the whole ocean to get his son back that a guy stole, and then you have these fish tank guys, like the best characters in the whole movie. The fish.
In the fish in the fish tank.
Yeah, the fish in the fish tank.
Shark bait. Wow.
Yeah. Like the best ones.
Those guys are fantastic.
Yeah, those are the best ones.
Jacques.
So then so now they're being put into bowls, which we know they don't like.
Right.
And then they are being then they get into the ocean at the end of the movie. So you see this resentment starting to build up a little bit.
Right.
In Finding Dory, now you see the trash. There's a part in Finding Dory where there's the crabs and they all pop out of trash. Mm-hmm. And it's the part where the big sea squid comes, it lights up, and it looks really cool. Anyways, the point of that is just showing the pollution level.
Right.
So now we can kind of see why they're starting to get annoyed with us. Ratatouille. In Ratatouille, Remy discovers his love of cooking.
Remy's the rat.
A
la Patton Oswalt.
And displays human characteristics. Some of them are walking on his hind paws, cleaning his hands, reading, and cooking. This is the first time we see personal interaction between a human and animal, but it is for the purpose of controlling the human. Remy controls Linguini because Linguini, who's the guy, does not know how to do anything. We see that Remy the rat's clan does not approve of humans and feels both fear and hate towards them.
Yep.
The dad even says, don't trust them, we hate them.
Right.
So now we're seeing two different animal groups that when left alone, because the idea of Ratatouille is that they live in sewers. And obviously fish live in the ocean.
Right, and so just like the dinosaurs from The Good Dinosaur.
Right. When left to their own accord.
Right, they develop their own societies.
Right.
Because the meteor never hit. See, this is why meteors are good.
This is why meteors are good. Thank God for meteors, right?
Extinction level events, man. Gotta love them.
Toy Story 3.
Yep.
3 years later, toys have gone through a lot with humans. It's seen in the movie.
300 years later?
3 years later?
Oh.
Did I say 300?
No, you might have just stuttered as you were saying it, or I thought you said 300 years later. I was like, wait a minute now.
3 years later.
Okay.
Toys have gone through a lot with humans. If you've seen the movie, you can tell why most of the toys have had it, being abused physically and emotionally by humans. Lotso, the hugging bear, straight up hates humans because they discard toys like objects,
right,
and they act like they're nothing.
Right.
He starts trying to take care of his own kind. This provides another reason why machines and objects alike are ready to take over.
And the toys are essentially representing AI in this scenario.
Essentially, they're just their own step. Yeah, right. So they're robot clan, if you want to give them a clan.
Okay.
Up. Carl is forced to give up his house to a corporation, B&L. Pause the Pixar theory. B&L is very important. B&L we have seen multiple times, but we haven't talked about it yet. B&L first starts when they make the batteries for the Buzz Lightyear toy.
Okay.
In Toy Story 3, when they pop open Buzz, there is a quick scene where you see B&L. Now, the history and lore of B&L actually came out from Pixar, which kind of helps out the Pixar theory, because B&L started as a small yogurt shop. This is weird lore that has nothing to do with any of the movies.
No, wait a minute. That was in a movie, I thought.
It's in all of them. Or not all of them.
No, I mean the story of B&L. I thought that was in a movie.
Oh, actually, you know what? It's in Wall-E. That's where it's from.
Is it?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's in
the
Wall-E.
yogurt. The yogurt becomes
it's Wall-E.
Sentient.
Yeah. Yes. So they start as a yogurt company, but you can see them getting bigger. This is the first time you see them. But the first time you see them, they're selling batteries. So just understand that they've opened up now what seems multiple businesses.
Right. They've become a corporation.
Now they're buying up properties. So when all the buildings are going down.
I don't think it was Wall-E. I think you and I are thinking of two different things, though.
Maybe. When
I'll figure it out.
All the buildings are going down, there are men in black suits.
Yep.
And they're trying to kick out Carl. So Carl's forced to give up his house to the corporation B&L. because they are expanding the city.
Mm-hmm.
This is foreshadowing the corporation is the cause of polluting the earth and wiping out life of distant future. As a result, technology is overreached. Carl discovers that animals can communicate with humans, as seen.
That's the dog.
Right, and sees the bitterness that they have. Charles Muntz, which is the bad guy, the other old bad guy, effectively trains an army of dogs. This is the start of the tipping point between animals and humans. Because now animals are becoming so efficient that those MFs are flying planes in that movie. Do you remember that? There's a part where the dogs
Where, like,
are
the
flying
pit bulls
planes.
or whatever they
Yeah.
are. Not pit bulls, Dobermans.
Yeah,
Dobermans.
dude. The Doberman's the lead dog, but he's got the big bulldog. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then another,
I forgot about that.
right?
It's fucking stupid.
So the dogs are becoming so smart that they're learning this, and they're learning this all from the humans.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's also interesting is that Charles Muntz, sorry, I blanked on his name for a second. Charles Muntz says one thing, like, about his dogs, that he says the dog is the best cook he's ever had. But wait a minute. The only other animal we've seen cook is a rat. Are they learning more?
Okay.
Is that starting to bleed into it?
Okay.
So they're evolving so point. So now that uptakes after Ratatouille, they've already learned how to cook. Now they're just learning more and more stuff.
Mm-hmm. They're coming more and more
Right.
evolved.
Right.
Okay.
And we're polluting the planet.
Mm-hmm.
B&L is this evil corporation that's breaking down, ripping people out of their homes,
Right.
and, just knocking down nature to build bigger cities and things like that.
Right.
So now the animals are starting to get upset.
Mm-hmm.
Cars.
Yeah. Okay. So pause.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff.
Just friggin' pause.
Because here it comes.
Okay.
Actually,
hang on.
let me just do this one part and then we can
But
pause.
before you get into cars, because this is the part that
Because this is where, just let me do this one part. I promise you.
Because this rips me out of it.
So when the animals rise up against the humans to stop the pollution, the machines must save the humans. Because obviously we would lose a war against animals.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that...
And by the way, obviously, we would not lose a war against animals.
I don't know, dude.
Screw animals. They don't have nuclear weapons.
Yeah, but they have everything else in one-on-one combat. And what are we going to do? Nuke ourselves? Good job. Dude, rattlesnake bites you once. Fucking, you know how many animals there are? Anyways.
Yeah, just keep going.
However, the machines must intervene to save the humans. So, since the machines help the humans win, it tipped the balance of Earth. Machines and B&L have now ripped the planet of its sources, of all its greens, and made cities and polluted the air.
Yep.
So much so that the humans must leave.
That's Wally.
Not yet. Because the remaining humans are sent off to space in the Axiom, which is Wally.
Okay, so hang on.
All the other machines are left behind, and to populate, or left behind to populate the world and run things. Things here get weird, because the one thing that really isn't explained is that the cars take the likes of their previous drivers. That's why race cars act like race cars, pickup trucks act like tow truck drivers. What the cop
They take
acts
the
like
personality of the actual
person that was driving
used
the
to
car.
drive. Okay, that's fine.
That's never really explained why, though.
Right. Which, all things aside, I will give you that one because it helps the story,
Right.
if you will.
Yeah.
Here's what takes me out of it.
Okay.
Okay. You have animals, no more likey humans.
Right.
Fine. Why do the cars have faces and mouths?
That's just how they evolved, I guess.
But
I don't have a good answer.
But it's
for.
AI. They're not evolving. It's AI. You know what I mean? Like
at this point,
not,
the
they're
AI
not,
has gone
they're
off
not
the planet.
like little
because
robots.
Who is the AI? It's the steering wheel of Wall-E.
No, so
Think about it. That's the AI. This is more of like they made their own sentient life. So think of them more as toys than the AI robot from is not the Syndrome AI robot. Think of them more as Toy Story, that they just kind of grew up into their own life. They somehow earned life.
See, that's a stretch for me.
No, that one is a stretch.
Yeah.
Because that one that you don't
That's
really...
what takes me out of this, because you've made enough sense. I wouldn't say perfect sense.
No, of course.
But you've made enough
Still
sense.
crackpot theory.
I know. You've made enough sense with this theory up until Cars, because that's where
that one's
that's
really
where
not
it loses
explained
me.
too well.
Yeah.
That one I had trouble getting a better understanding for, but the way that I interpret it is that you kind of have to just think of it as like Toy Story.
Okay.
As like the toy was created as a Buzz Lightyear, so it acts like a Buzz Lightyear.
Because for me, I feel like with this theory, it's kind of like when Christians are like trying to explain Christianity,
Right.
and then somebody's like, "Well, but then why is all this bad stuff happening?" And they're like, "Jesus."
Right.
It's like, I'm trying to explain the Pixar world and to you.
Yeah.
Well, but what about this? Magic.
Yeah, for sure. No.
You know what I mean?
100%. I actually agree with you. That is the weakest part, but that's the only way I could think of.
But so with the A113 aside, because
Right.
I think that does nothing. I just did that
because that was fun.
I know.
I knew that wouldn't sell you.
I think that does absolutely nothing as far as the story
I
arcs
am well
or
aware.
connecting or anything. I think A113 is just those guys doing sentimental stuff in every movie,
Right.
which I'm perfectly
Which
fine
is really
with.
cool.
Perfectly fine with that.
I love that. I always love looking for the A113.
But it's
my favorite.
Perfectly fine with that.
Yeah.
I can even jump on board with everything, like Good Dinosaur. Okay, that establishes it. Then let's jump into Brave. Here's how that works into this. And then The Incredibles. And then you can see like the Easter eggs and all the other movies that kind of help, wrap it up into a nice bow. But when you have Cars, that's like, if they remove Cars from this theory, then this theory still holds water. But Cars takes this theory and turns it into something that's not feasible for me anymore.
It does kind of make sense though, because it's just like
the theory makes sense,
Right.
of how you would incorporate Cars into it along a timeline,
Right.
if this is happening.
Right.
But what Cars is and what those characters of Cars are take me out of it. Do you see what I'm saying?
No, I don't.
They're machines, but now they went from being regular machines to being machines like the toys in Toy Story.
Essentially, yeah.
How? Magic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
that I
that's,
understand.
If it was an entire society of like Kit from Knight Rider,
Right.
and they still were taking the personalities of what
Yeah,
blah
but
blah
that's
blah.
just because it's an animated movie,
right?
though.
But that's my point. Is I
Yeah.
would be able to buy into that more if they didn't have faces and mouths that
Okay,
open and close.
But
and,
I also think you might be taking it a little too literal.
I mean,
I understand what you're saying.
forget this theory.
I understand what you're
I'm
saying.
trying not to swear as much.
In Cars 2, Cars go to Europe, Japan, which shows that
Ugh.
it's the same planet as the other Pixar movies. I'm going to Japan in January
Are you
next year. Yeah, I'm very excited for that.
Domo arigato.
Mr. Roboto. It also shows that there are no humans around the world.
In Cars.
Right.
Yep.
In Cars 2, we're currently in Cars 2.
Right.
The world at this time ends up with an energy crisis. This is important.
Okay. Because the humans are in WALL-E, but WALL-E hasn't happened yet. The
Right.
movie WALL-E hasn't happened yet.
Right.
But the humans are in that ship, but not big fat piles of garbage.
Well, I'll give you a great example. So Cars, they're saying, takes place in this one in 2100 to 2200. Cars 2 is 2100 to 2200.
Okay.
WALL-E takes place in 2800 to 2900.
Okay.
So just so you
And-
have...
But, okay, so now here's my other issue is right now in Cars 2, all the humans are up in the Axiom?
The Axiom.
Okay. They're all up in the Axiom. In WALL-E, they're in the Axiom for how many years? Hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years, yes.
Yeah.
So basically from
right
sometime
before Cars 1.
Yeah, so like right before 2100 to 2800.
Fine. Again, this is why Cars takes me out of it.
Right.
In WALL-E, the reason why the humans leave is because there's trash everywhere.
Right.
And WALL-E is supposed to be cleaning it up. And there's
Right.
an army of WALL-Es, and they're doing their little blocks and shit and pooping out bricks.
Mm-hmm.
But in Cars, where's all the trash?
All in all, the corporation that used green energy as catalyst for a fuel war in order to turn cars away from alternative energy sources. That clean fuel could have been used to swiftly wipe out or decommission many of the cars. All in all, was run by B&L, which eventually polluted the whole Earth due to its use of oil. The whole world becomes unfit to sustain life.
Right.
Because the WALL-E units are then sent. They never directly state that the WALL-E units are sent the second that they leave the planet.
No, the WALL-E units were there before they left the planet.
Right. But they show a limited amount of WALL-E units, right? So now imagine this.
No, but if you look at WALL-E, in the movie WALL-E, and they're watching those past videos of, like, whatever that guy is that is actually a really funny actor.
Yeah. I know exactly the guy.
The head of the corporation.
The guy
or
from
the
Austin
president.
Powers.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
He's up there talking, and then you see,
He's
like,
putting
billboards.
right,
and you see the
he's the president or
billboards
something like
of...
that. Or no, actually, I think he's in B&L, isn't he? Does he work for B&L?
I think he's the head of B&L.
Yeah.
But that's my point is, like, when he's giving those speeches, Earthlings, humans are still on Earth.
Right.
And WALL-E is already cleaning up the trash. WALL-E. WALL-E is already cleaning up the trash. Like there's those
WALL-E
advertisements of WALL-E units that are actively cleaning. Right? So WALL-E is around cleaning up trash because there's so much trash.
Right.
And the humans haven't left yet.
Right.
But now the humans are gone.
Right.
After the trash gets too much to bear.
No. Hold on. So now, you're right there. You're right where you need to be. The alarm's going off. If you remember correctly, he's putting the life vest on. And he goes, take action A113.
Initiate Order 66.
Right. So that way no one ever comes back to the planet.
Right.
So then
But
he
there's
leaves.
still all that trash.
So now the trash is still being picked up by the WALL-E units.
Right.
But because Cars is taking place after they leave, the cars are polluting the planet even more.
Right. But my point is that in Cars, where's the trash?
Because it has, but Cars is getting it to the point where you see it at WALL-E.
But all of those trash that's like the size of skyscrapers, all that trash was there when the people were there.
Correct. I'm
So
arguing that.
in Cars, where's the trash?
You don't see the trash because they're adding to the trash. Hold on. It went from the small areas of it being contained to the point that they thought to clean it. Then they leave the planet. Then Cars happens. Then it goes out of control. That's what it's saying.
So they're saying that they're where the WALL-Es are when the humans evacuate the planet. At that point, there are still areas of the planet with no trash where the cars are living.
No, not at all.
That's
No.
what I'm saying. In Cars, there should be trash. If this is the
But you do see trash in Cars.
piles and piles of trash.
You actually do, because Mater's trash lot is junkyard. You see it when they're dirt rallying. You see trash in the background, but it's not. I know what you're saying because you're looking for the skyscrapers.
I'm just looking for, as I'm driving through the streets of Cars as a car, where's all the trash?
It's not to the point that where WALL-E is.
But if it's not to the point where WALL-E is, then the humans should be on the Earth still.
No, they shouldn't be. They already left. They left in preemptive.
It wasn't preemptive. It was
Yes.
the no.
No, they sent them. No. Watch WALL-E again. First of all, they tell people to go onto the Axiom to tell them to go on this long trip while they clean up the planet.
Right.
So it's in control. Then, once they leave, they're
But there was
already
still
out in
trash
outer space.
everywhere.
But not to that point. Not to the point that you see it in WALL-E, which is what you're saying. You're saying that why don't you see it like you do in WALL-E, with the skyscrapers of trash?
I'm not saying why aren't there skyscrapers of trash in cars. I'm saying why isn't there all this trash on the ground in cars that is going to make these skyscrapers?
Because they're causing the trash. It's not till after then the cars die out that now the planet's becoming uninhabitable.
Okay. I don't buy it. That's fine. That's the part that
that's
takes
totally
me out
fine.
of it. I know.
I'm trying to explain it to you.
No,
But that's totally fine.
I understand what you're saying. I don't see it that way, and it takes me out of it.
WALL-E. Earth has become
I feel like we covered it.
uninhabitable for 100 years due to B&L.
Right.
The corporation took over the whole world and government starting in the 1950s. WALL-E is the only machine left on Earth after it runs out of resources. So in WALL-E, you actually see a lot of the destroyed buildings, and all the destroyed buildings have these shopping centers, and then the shopping centers are all B&L companies. So you can see that B&L took over everything.
Right.
So it's just interesting. He survives.
And B&L is subliminally supposed to be Amazon.
No, it's more like Disney, where they own everything they own everything under the sun, but you just don't realize it.
Could be both. Could be Disney's on.
Now, what's very interesting about WALL-E is WALL-E was not built any different. WALL-E has no different schematics than any other WALL-E units that you see that are already dead. The difference between WALL-E and every other robot is his infatuation with humans and human culture.
You mean infatuation?
What'd I say?
Factuation.
Is that what I said?
Yes.
Play it back.
I will.
And
I'll even put it on the screen. I'll do a nice little decal on the screen when you say it that says factuation ?
He also becomes friends with a cockroach,
Yep.
which helps him maintain a personal and a fun-filled life.
Connection.
Right.
Okay.
So robots and machines on the Axiom, having left Earth centuries earlier, showed the machines develop a sense of prowess out for human dependence on the WALL-E. Oh, I'm sorry.
On the machine.
Humans' dependence on them. Sorry, I skipped the line. That's my bad.
No, that's fine.
This is the best part. WALL-E is robot Jesus.
I'm sorry. What?
It's kind of a joke, but it is kind of serious. WALL-E is robot Jesus, and he and his love and the appropriately named Eve save the human race and start a new beginning on Earth again. Very interesting things happen in WALL-E. WALL-E is seen to imitate humans and have this infatuation with humans, and that's what keeps him alive. Because we already established in Toy Story that the toys need humans.
Right.
Because when the humans go away, they lose their power.
Okay.
So since WALL-E was able
once
to keep
humans
that,
left the planet,
all the
WALL-E
units
used
started dying.
Right, but that particular WALL-E used collecting human items as a way to maintain the connection with humans.
Right.
Okay.
So then he runs into Eve. Then they find the plant. The plant goes into a boot.
Yep.
Where have I seen a plant in a boot before? Interesting. Well, if you remember correctly, there is a plant and a boot on the drawing on the wall under the great tree that Bug's life is in. The goddamn tree is the goddamn leaf that they planted
when
in
they
the
came
goddamn
back
boot.
to Earth.
Because in the Bug's life, on the wall, there's a carving of a plant in a boot. What?
So you're saying that A Bug's Life is like 3,000, the year 3,000 something.
Yeah. So they said WALL-E's 2,800 to 2,900. This is saying that Bug's Life takes place basically 3,000.
Right, because that tree's got to be 200 years old in order to be that big.
Yeah.
Okay.
The same plant that we see in WALL-E.
But here's what I'm going to say to you. Again, WALL-E to Bug's Life, I'll give you that connection. Cars is the black hole in the middle of this story
Understood.
arc that sucks everything into
Listen,
not being
we're
believable.
almost at the end here.
Okay, go.
And then you'll tell me the whole thing.
Go on.
So, the same plant we see in WALL-E grows in the tree in Bug's Life. The insects have longer lifespans in Bug's Life than WALL-E and our normal life. An ant can live just 3 months in real life.
Right.
However, in Bug's Life, those ants all survive entire summers and allude to being around for quite some time.
Okay.
One ant states he
So
feels
these are
like he's
new-
90 again.
These are new bugs that have now evolved from the ashes of an unlivable world.
This indicates that the ants are a result of evolution and mutated genes. Another ant tells Flick not to leave the island because there are snakes, birds, and bigger bugs out there. They do not mention humans because they are very few humans to make dangerous enough for the insects to worry about. However,
the only humans that came back were from the Axiom.
Right. However, one kid did allegedly pick the wings off a homeless bug. Homeless? I think they meant harmless. No, a homeless bug? No, I guess that makes sense. Later in the distant future, animals start evolving into the dominant species. Now, here are two splits of the Pixar theory. 50% believe that monsters now come into effect. Monsters University, Monsters Inc. Monsters are either the bugs that evolve we're talking, so just an idea, Bugs Life is 3,000, Monsters University is 4,500 to 5,000.
Okay.
So they're either saying that the bugs evolve into monsters, or because of the planet's radiation and of how dirty the planet was, and how obviously they fix it, the humans end up becoming monsters.
Okay.
So that one is argued. But regardless, either people evolve into monsters or the bugs evolve into monsters.
Okay. I'll let you finish and then I'll tackle that one.
Sure. Hundreds of years after WALL-E, animals start changing due to radiation caused by BNL. The animals evolve into monsters and accidentally wipe humans off the face of the planet, as per this theory.
Mm-hmm.
Monsters University was founded in 1313, which is dating using the monsters calendar, not the human calendar, and shows that it took place almost 1,400 years after A Bug's Life. At Monsters University, the falsely taught monsters are taught that humans were toxic from being another dimension. This was because monsters were worried about being erased from existence in alternate histories. But what really is important is Monsters, Inc. Monsters and machines didn't realize the mistake of getting rid of humans until it was too late. They eventually realized that humans were the source of energy and need to sustain life. Machines help solve that by letting monsters use doors to time travel to human generations. Now, that's one theory. The one that I like better is the one by the Super Carlin brothers. What they're saying is humans still used to exist, but there's a line in it where the big spider CEO guy, he goes, what does he say? He says like, oh, kids don't get scared like they used to. So everybody believes the doors aren't actually other dimensions when they open a door and close the door. It's actually going back in time because kids don't scare like they used to. So they think that the best way to get energy is to go back in time and scare kids. Now, this is interesting because that's giving us human emotion that they're running energy off of, like it's been the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also interesting that the door is the one that's closing and opening. Wait, but where have I feel like I said that. Oh, wait, that's right. The goddamn witch uses magic to open the door and close the door to go to different places.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because she's the goddamn Boo from Monsters, Inc. She's Boo. So, the moral of the story is that Boo can never find a way to get back to Sully. once the door gets shredded. Even though it opens, they can go see each other one more time. So, Boo spends her whole life trying to figure out how to get back to Sully. So she's constantly opening and closing the door to get back to Sully. Thank you for
Hold on a second. No.
What?
Nope.
She's Boo, bro.
Hold on a
She's Boo.
Okay, number one, Boo. Here's my thing, okay?
We know she's a time traveler.
Yeah.
That's how she has the Pizza Planet truck, and there's a picture of Sully in Brave. In Brave, one of the biggest, craziest parts of the whole thing is if you look in the sketchings, they're mostly bears, right? Because Merida's mom turns into a bear. The whole thing is about bears. But what if it's not a bear? Because one of them stands up straight and his claws look big and he has spots. It's fucking Sully, bro.
Okay.
I had to drop the F-bomb.
That's fine. That's okay. Here's the thing.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. It's a lot to take
Woo!
in. Let's just start punching keys. I don't like it. And I'll tell you why. I get... All right, so Monsters, Inc. were in the 4,500s, give or take a few years. At that point, you're telling me humans are now extinct.
What?
One way or another.
So one theory, the Pixar
So
theory
no
website,
matter what, either the humans evolve into monsters,
or they're dead.
or they're all dead,
Right.
and the bugs have evolved into monsters.
Right.
But no matter what, no more people.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Here's my issue with that.
Go ahead.
I think it's because everything else on Earth is gone when the humans come back in WALL-E. It's literally just
It's in ruins. But
it's
yeah.
WALL-E. But my point is that there
Or
are
that one city.
there
the
are
only
no-
place that you see is that one city.
but there are no cars
right
from
correct.
cars.
Yes. No. Yeah, they're dead.
They're gone.
Correct.
There are no toys.
They're having an energy crisis.
Right. There are no
Right.
toys
No
from
more
Toy
humans.
Story.
Correct.
So the only thing
Living is
other than
WALL-E.
humans is WALL-E and the cockroaches.
just not on the same planet. Or the cockroach and WALL-E are on the same planet, but humans are living just not on the planet.
But now the humans come back.
Now the humans come back.
Now you have humans,
Right.
the cockroaches, and WALL-E.
Cockroach.
Well, I mean,
yeah, it's most like it more.
It's not like the end of the movie. You don't just see the cockroach come in, take his hat off, hang it up, put his briefcase down. Hi, honey, how the like? There's more than one cockroach.
What movie did you watch?
There's
'Cause
more than
that's
one.
exactly what
yeah,
happened.
There's more than one cockroach.
Yeah, right.
Well, okay, so now the humans are back.
Right.
WALL-E's there. Eva's there.
Yeah.
And the bugs. So okay, so now we're gonna say they plant the plant. The bugs are there. What kills the humans?
Well, that's they're saying it could be the pollution, it could be the radiation, it could be like a whole bunch of different stuff.
See, but I don't buy that
That's-
because
well, I
if
also
they
don't-
found that the humans still couldn't live on Earth, then they could just get back in the axiom, go back up, because now they know the formula, if you will.
Well,
right?
that's why I don't agree with the website, and I actually agree with the Super Carlin brothers.
But I don't
that
agree
it's
with them
actually
either.
that the humans evolved into monsters. That's
Okay,
much
so
more
now the
believable.
humans evolve into monsters, fine.
Right,
But then why do they need the sustenance of other humans?
because they need the energy.
But
Energy's
why?
create-
They're still humans.
but they evolved. They mutated.
But they still have the same energy.
No, they're different. They're mutated. It's like clearly what mutating means. Either they
Because for me, I feel like
if you mutated
feel like
into a different
Monsters,
being,
Inc.
you would be different, wouldn't you? You wouldn't have the same DNA, would you?
Monsters Inc. Sorry, I feel like Monsters Inc. is Cars. I feel like is a giant black hole in the middle of this, and I feel like
I think
Monsters
it's just because
Inc.
you can't get over the faces. If
It
you
might
get
be.
rid of the face, like that's literally the only thing that's hanging you up.
I think that might be a big
telling
part
you.
of it, but I also just don't like cars. Like I don't like how it fits.
Classic you.
I know. But I also feel like Monsters, Inc. I would be able to be on board if Monsters, Inc. was a different dimension that was coming into our universe at a different time. That would make more sense to me than the humans evolving into, because now you're also saying we're going from dinosaur, the good dinosaur, that took millions of years for them to develop a rudimentary civilization. And now you're going to tell me that in 1,500 years, we have evolved into monsters.
You don't know what was in that radiation. You don't know what the planet was like. It could have been like a whole bunch of
Chemtrails.
Chemtrails, exactly. Controlling
Let's
everything.
just go into that. But my point is that like it doesn't. I can't wrap my head around that. I'd be much if they just said, so Monsters Inc. is actually taking place in another dimension, but they cross into this timeline. And they realize like, oh, you know, kids don't scare as easily as they used to because of the shit they've been through, where they had to leave the planet and they had to come back and blah, blah, blah. And now they're dealing with these bugs. And, you know, that makes sense. And now those doors are not necessarily time machines, but they are dimensional gateways where they can just pick a time in another dimension,
correct,
to go to.
That's essentially what they're doing.
Which that I'm okay with.
That's essentially what they're doing.
They're
theorize
picking a
that
time
it could be
in another, but they're picking a time
in their own history. Is what they're saying. Yeah.
And I'm saying it's more feasible if it's picking a time in another dimension.
Yeah, right. That makes it
for them to go to.
Right.
Because I don't see the humans evolving into monsters. And I don't see the bugs evolving into monsters. I think it's just stupid.
So there's one question for you left.
Okay.
If 10 is you're a hardcore believer, 1 is, or I'll give you 0 is that I've wasted an hour and 12 minutes of your life. Where do you lie?
On the Pixar theory?
On the Pixar theory.
In its entirety.
In its entirety. Did I do it?
In terms of everything in the world of Pixar being related to one another, I will give you a 6.
What? What? What?
Hold on. Because I think Cars and Monsters, Inc. take it out for me. Those two... If you're just going based on are there Easter eggs in every single movie and blah, 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 then I'll give you an 8 or a 9 because, yes, you can see stuff from all the other movies in these movies. But if they're all connected, I'll give you a 6. If you're asking me if I believe in the Pixar theory, I will give you a 2.
You fuck off. You're such a fuck. All right. Well, before we wrap up, JR wants to go through a couple new things that we have for the show. So why don't you tell us what's going on?
Yes, so we are going to incorporate a review show. We're going to do a review on a random movie or TV series once a month. So probably the last week of each month will be that review show. I think our first one is probably... I think it's a toss-up right now between that Disney's live-action Aladdin and maybe The Witcher.
Yeah.
Because
that's where we are right now.
Yeah, that's where we are right now. That's where we are in our lives. It's Aladdin and The Witcher. So that's going to come in. And then we also, of course, want to still do the advice segments. So if you guys want advice or you need anything or you want to ask us any questions or whatever the case may be, or if you have suggestions on what we should cover in the review, send us an email at 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. I think that was it.
Or you could just comment.
Or you can just comment on YouTube. Yeah, but
right underneath it, comment which one.
I will be straight up honest with you. I don't really read the comments.
I do.
Billy might, but I don't.
I got it.
And if you do comment, there's also a chance that Chris Berry will engage.
Oh, there you go.
Fully.
That's kind of cool.
But not in the way you'll like. Just check out our Flat Earth episode and you'll see what I'm talking about. So yeah, I think that's all I got.
Yeah.
For now. And again, in about, I want to say, Mike's mini history lessons are probably going to come out in Q2, so April, May, June, somewhere around there.
Ooh. Got a lot of stuff for you guys, so thanks for watching. Happy Valentine's Day, and hasta la vista.
That's right, it is Valentine's Day. I'm going to go hug my wife. Bye.
You ruined my hasta la vista, baby. Piece of shit.
Sorry. Normally you say,
I decided
I love you. You're not doing I love you anymore?
Nope, I'm going to keep it fresh.
Hey guys, thanks for listening. If you have any suggestions or topics for us to cover, email us at 4guysmedianetwork@gmail.com. If you're on the go, you can subscribe to our shows on iTunes. Be sure to check out our Patreon page, 4Guys Media Network, for access to exclusive content like minisodes and more. We have a lot of goals to hit, so we can keep improving and continue providing more content ad-free. So all of your donations are greatly appreciated. Make sure you subscribe to the 4Guys Media Network YouTube channel for all of our other projects by clicking the link on the right. And lastly, if you want to watch another episode, just click the link on the left. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you next time.